Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We're live, and we've got a full episode lined up for us today. All right, let's clear the mental fog and warm up the hot takes, because tonight's menu is pure chaos with a side of consequences. Welcome back to the Rethink Tank Live. First up, Jake Paul finally found out that boxing isn't a YouTube algorithm, and the stakes were jaw-dropping. Next, the United Kingdom decided the justice system needed a software update nobody asked for, and the slow roll towards tyranny begins. And finally, American politics officially hits its final form: Team Cardi B versus Team Nicki Minaj. And to quote the great Childish Gambino, this is America. So join us in the Rethink Tank, where we stop, drop, and question the spectacle, hoping to figure out how we got here and whether there's any way back. Let's get into it. So when we have the opportunity here, we like to do some updates. And last week, iShowSpeed was changing a legal dynamic for us in man versus machine. He assaulted a prototype robot, and the corporation that the Rizbot calls daddy is going after him legally. And we had kind of opined on the fact that this is the first of many iterations to come. And not even a week later, this was like 2 days following, we had our favorite on scene flat earther go toe to toe with another machine. Huh? Kyrie's got beef of the metal kind.
Dude, it's kicking. Doing high kicks.
Boom. Dead. Out. Gone.
Charge.
Look at it, it's just a limp body now.
My apologies. I thought I could push him a little harder.
My apologies.
Push him a little harder.
Oh, yeah.
That thing is limp. I like the other one walking in, going like, "Oh my God, you good, homie?"
Little robot dog, not my guy.
No, not him.
So he does this ninja stuff that's like, ooh, slick. And like Doug said, this is a shove. Boom. Off.
On the concrete, not
Get off me.
You know what? There is something to, like, there's no twitch. It's just, and then it's limp. Like, oh no. Oh, and you know in his head is like, this is expensive.
Honestly, I think it's just embarrassed.
That's true. They programmed feelings.
They programmed shamed in the Rizbot.
Why do we have to put an ego in this thing? So again, many more exciting iterations to come down the pipe, and we have that to look forward to. Yeah, Doug. Oops. I wanted to. I muted Doug because one, I wanted him to. I knew he was gonna, and he didn't. So I was wrong. Thought for sure he was gonna go. I sent him that clip. Because you know, folks, he does.
He said
I
it was
didn't
wrong.
send him that. That was Ricky who sent us that.
Well, good, because I found it before anybody sent it to me, and I was mad that I knew Doug was going to be like, nah, blah, blah, blah. But then also Doug had to talk about, I don't know what bar he was talking about, you know, Miami.
Doug would send a 9/11 article and be like, "Did you see this?"
Exactly.
I actually mentioned our last show where we talked about it.
See,
I guess
Doug's the friend where you send him something and he's like, "Oh man, I'm thinking of you," and he sends it right back to you, and you're like, "Dude, did you that quick? You forgot?" We all have that friend. Anyway, let's get into our first topic of the day. Jake Paul. What better topic to open up with? Jake Paul didn't break boxing. He exposed what boxing and celebrity culture is. Oh, if I'm going to do a monologue about this, I also have to make sure I include the best part.
Honestly, the best recurring bit you could have done is just thrown up John Cena again.
You see nothing. So again, back to it. He didn't break boxing. He exposed what boxing and celebrity culture have already become. If you want to understand why people were foaming at the mouth to see Jake Paul finally get dropped, you have to go back long before YouTube, influencer fights, or pay-per-view gimmicks. Back in 1961, American historian Daniel Burstein warned that modern fame was headed somewhere ugly. Borstein defined a celebrity as a person who is known for his well-knownness. Not achievement, not excellence, just recognition feeding itself. Fame detached from substance, manufactured by media, sustained by attention, and fueled by resentment. He claimed that eventually celebrities will be celebrities just for the sake of being celebrities, and people will hate them for it. Jake Paul is the purest version of that prophecy. He didn't become famous because he was the best boxer. He became famous because people hated the fact that he was famous at all. And once he realized that, he did something brutally smart. He monetized the resentment. He followed the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. Mayweather eventually understood that people weren't paying to watch him win. They were paying to hope he'd lose. And once that clicked, boxing shifted. Ali versus Frazier was about answering the question, who is the greatest alive? Mayweather answered a totally different question. How much will you pay to see me maybe fall? Jake Paul took that model and stripped it of any remaining pretense. He turned boxing into spectacle-first entertainment, not best versus best, but villain versus your patience. He invited opponents who would make more money fighting him, win or lose, than they ever could otherwise. And the audience kept tuning in, not because they respected him, but because they were waiting for the payoff. The Germans have a word for describing this: Schadenfreude. Let me bring that bad boy up here. Schadenfreude is the pleasure in another person's downfall. And this past weekend, the internet exploded because people believe they finally got what they paid for. The illusion cracked. The invincibility narrative shattered, whether it was a broken jaw, a knockdown, or simply a moment where the spectacle finally blinked. The feeling was the same. This feels like the end. And that's the real story. Because Jake Paul only worked as long as the audience believed the villain couldn't be stopped. Once the people think the spell is broken, the engine that powered the entire enterprise starts sputtering. What happens to a spectacle when the audience thinks it's already got the ending? Jake Paul didn't con anyone. He played the game exactly as it was built. And if this really was the moment people have been waiting for, if the hate-fueled anticipation finally crashed out, then this wasn't the collapse of boxing. It was the logical conclusion of a culture that stopped caring about substance and then pretended to be offended when the spectacle was all that was left. The crowd finally cheered. Now the question begs, will they still show up when there's nothing left to root against? So when all the jokes are done, the clips stop looping and the memes stop. Here's the uncomfortable truth we're left with. Jake Paul wasn't the disease. He was the diagnostic test. So I want to put a pause there for a quick second. Okay. And loop into, let's see it for what it is, right? So here's the last 30 seconds. It was a 2-2 fight, apparently, you know. Oh, well,
I know how that was.
Put a pin in that. Put a pin. If that's your comment, then I want you to either corroborate it or, because Jake Paul is where I got that from. I have a clip. We'll get to it. But he says, I didn't watch the fight, so you're going to have to ground me in this. He says that it was he won 2, Anthony Joshua won 2, and then he got knocked out in this round. So here are those final moments. But at least one thing that I can exclaim is that it made it to a 5th round. So it went a good distance. It didn't go the distance, but it went a good distance before his reality was truly tested. And these last 36 seconds are noteworthy because you see it in his eyes. There was a moment of test. That's a moment where, hold on, real quick, notice this. This is a Jake Paul instinct, right? This is a raccoon going right into its animal instincts. He is backed in a corner, scared and about to die, and he's just like, ah! It's like a raccoon hissing. It's just like, this is all Jake Paul has in the back pocket. Yeah, last thing.
Sand pocket.
Yep, exactly. Banana, boom, and then it doesn't work. And watch when, like, Anthony Joshua does one little thing, right? This is a Samoan. Moana's over here, ready to knock it down, tongue out and everything. One flinch shatters him. Yeah, the count. Oh, and there's moments in his face that just are telling. I think Anthony Joshua was shocked he's getting this close. And you know, it didn't seem like much happened there. Quick, easy, out. Turns out it was a heck of an ending. Slow-mo here. Boom.
It was a jaw-breaking punch.
Jaw-breaking. Whoa, wow, he says. Dude, it's right here at the beginning where you just see like, oh no. Like, look at his eyes. You're just like,
That's fear.
Oh, yeah. He broke him mentally and just quah.
That was a lot of money on that punch.
Well, and people do talk about like going to this moment right here. All right, so they're up against the wall, and he's getting in more licks than he knows he should. He's like, "Whoa, I shouldn't be getting in
The
this
contract
much."
didn't say this.
Yeah. Well, and I do think there's an exact moment where you see Anthony Joshua decide money has no play here.
I'm already paid.
It's it. Well, we like all of these contracts. We do know that there's some footnotes that we don't get to see that restrict how far the competitor can really go against Jake Paul. Mm-hmm. And whether it's a buyout clause or a fine or voids the contract, you don't get paid. There's a moment where you watch him decide, I don't care. And this is for boxing. And it's just, oh, gone.
Want a rematch?
Want a rematch? How much? And, you know, we're saving.
That's such a clean punch. Dude.
Oh, it's the punch.
So clean.
We're saving the audience from the vulgarity of the situation because I've heard, you know, I'm going to break his jaw, whatever. I would think a broken jaw is somewhere in the hinge of your jaw. The fact that he split his bottom jaw in half and he's in the ring and you can literally see it bending in his mouth where it's like, oh no, he split his jaw in half. He broke it quite literally. And, you know, before we get to, I mean, the recovery, kudos to them for they're good internet brothers. These two boys, they know what they're doing. Oh, they got to the top for a reason.
They know how to play it.
To make a clip of Jake in a hospital bed and Josh whatever the other one is, Logan, the same thing. Jake and Josh. I think they're one Nick. I mean, one was okay. This one was touched by Disney, not Nickelodeon. I always mess that up.
No. Birds of a feather.
Birds of a feather. So you've got him in the bed, and they just like troll the whole situation as his face is just swollen. It's like capitalize on the fact that you split your face. Smart guy. But before we get to that recovery and seeing Jake post this fight now, Anthony Joshua had some, I think, more powerful comments. And when I give this whole long diatribe about what this has done to boxing and how we've departed from the virtues and substance of the sport just for the spectacle, you know, it's rejuvenating to see somebody who's trying to revitalize that heart back into the sport.
I needed to do better. I needed to do better. Yeah. No, it's a win, but it's not a success. I think my coach expects more from me. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best. And I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up. And I take my hat off to him. So, America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Javonte Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
You know, there's something commendable about having some sportsmanship while also acknowledging the fact that, like, I wish I did it even worse. You know, this is putting the sport on my back, representing something bigger than that, and also showing that I'm a dominant force. And Jake Paul was a joke for even calling my name out.
I mean, yeah. Why would? Again, Anthony Joshua is probably 5 inches taller than him, 40 pounds heavier. Like,
dude, did you see his shoulders in comparison?
They're in complete different weight classes. And Jake Paul's not a small guy by any means, but to have this fight, it's a joke. It's the reason why boxing isn't taken as serious. And I do blame Jake Paul and credence. While also at the same time, I do recognize I'm like, no, the kid's a boxer. He's just picking these fights now because that sport is so out of its element with like who they could choose to fight. Who cares about who's fighting? I mean, name 5 boxers.
Yeah.
I can name you 5 UFC current champions right now. Have a hard time naming 5 boxers that aren't Jake Paul,
right?
Anthony Joshua. Outside of the 2 that just fought, hard to name them. So I give him credit. I watched the fight. He could have ended it in the first 2 minutes.
So does that corroborate what Brad Richardson's
100%.
saying, where apparently Netflix, there was kind of a limit. Netflix guys ringside can't finish until allegedly round 5.
100%. He was hardly throwing punches.
I believe that.
I believe it too.
Jake Paul touched the mat probably 5 or 6 times in the first 4 rounds.
Oof.
Not from getting punched. He was exhausted. It's like whenever you'd watch the heavyweight fights when Tyson Fury was still boxing. He was really on his championship run. He's fighting other heavyweights, Wilder, Fury. And this is a guy who's 6'10", 290, fighting like Anthony Joshua's that are probably 6'5", 6'6", 240, 250. He's got 40, 50 pounds over him. That's exhausting for them. And that's like a true heavyweight fight. Like that's like the right weight class. That's what you do. That's how the fight should be. Instead, you have Jake, who's, I would say, maybe a light heavyweight, fighting a heavyweight. And I'm saying maybe a light heavyweight for Jake. Fighting a guy who's a true heavyweight, I think the current heavyweight champion of the world, which is ridiculous that the current heavyweight champion of the world would take this fight regardless. So that is some criticism I give Anthony. And I understand why he did it. He's trying to bring relevancy back to boxing. And it's like, you're incapable of doing it. You need the YouTube celebrity boxer to do it. It's not working out. He could have easily ended this fight. He was hardly throwing punches the first 4 rounds. And Jake was always on the ground because he was exhausted. You could tell. Like, just watch that 5th round clip. Jake looks exhausted. Anthony probably landed 9 or 10 punches at that point.
So doesn't that get back to the heart of this, where nobody's watching it because they actually truly believe he's a superior athlete that deserves the accolades and attention? Mm-hmm. It's, we hate this Disney kid turned YouTuber that annoys the hell out of us, and someone needs to finally knock him out.
It was 100% a hate watch.
And so the question then that I pose, so I want to hear from Ricky, maybe Doug in the corner. That's what my hot take, my claim here is that I believe that's everybody's reason for watching, that nobody was watching it for the giant robo guy on stilts and whatever gimmick bullshit he put out there. They were watching it to see him knocked out. They got what they were looking for. Is anybody watching him again?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Who else are you watching in boxing?
That's crazy.
That's the problem with the sport. Who else are you going to watch?
What were you gonna say, Doug?
No, I believe boxing is pretty much dead beginning. That's why this whole thing was a gimmick. And honestly, I believe Netflix wanted to make this thing go off so long and as well as possible to try and make up for the Paul Tyson fiasco streaming on Netflix. That's why I think they wanted this one to go as best as it possibly could. But it is sad. Boxing has pretty much taken second seat to UFC, and I don't think they can win that back with stunts like this.
No, they can't. And the issue with boxing, you don't have the right boxers promoting boxing. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a good fighter. He's pretty boring. He's pretty dull. Tyson Fury was exciting. He was a showman. You know, he'd go out there, this big, giant gypsy, bald as hell, just, just kind of, and then he'd win. And then he'd win very dominantly over these other really, really good fighters. Since the Tyson Fury thing kind of dissipated, and by the end of his career, he lost a fight. But by then, it's like you proved everything. You don't got to keep fighting. And he doesn't. The thing boxing has over the UFC is the money. Those fighters make so much bank if they win. That's always the running joke with Floyd Mayweather being broke, because it's like, how are you broke? You never lost, and everybody was watching your fights. The UFC, there's limits on how much you're actually going to win, even if you're the current champ.
Right. Well, that's a whole different conversation. The UFC is exploiting a lot of these people, and that's why by the time they reach a point where they're dominant in the league and they're making Dana tons of money, there is a resentment. By the time they get to that point, a resentment is built because they've been taken advantage of so much by the whole career run to get there. What's up, Doug?
Well, dude, don't boxers have some sort of union or something?
Yep.
Like, does UFC doesn't really have a
well,
union?
and you know what? It's good to raise that, Doug, because that's why boxing is so different than the UFC. The UFC is a mixed martial arts is its own sport, and you've seen how many leagues develop. The UFC is the corporate main conglomerate, but mixed martial arts is literally just a tournament style. So you could have a tournament or an entire brand built around a tournament, which is what a UFC technically is. It's a league. You have these different leagues, whatever. Though the UFC is the only spectacle, we'll call it, in this fighting style that has all the attention, which gives Dana negotiating power in terms of owning you in a contract that you fight for him. The beauty of boxing in America, and boxing then across the world, but it started here. I mean, the sport didn't. But the spectacle around it and the money that boxing has been able to draw in, like if Mexican boxing is huge. If you were to make this exclamation to a Mexican or a Cuban, they'd look at you and be like, whoa, we're the center of boxing. You guys have a huge market that's insulary to yourself, but it's because of what American boxing was in, say, 1920. And getting back to Doug's point and keeping it on that balance with, say, the UFC, boxing as we know it, this federation, has always been really the fighters league.
Right.
They called the shots. They dictated the terms, and the promoters and the venue owners and the channel, the broadcasters, they all are ancillary symptoms to a product that's really guided, owned, and dictated by the fighters themselves. And you're seeing that on its inverse. You are going to siphon everything from the players, and it's going to go all to one Disney-like conglomerate. Dana, the bald-headed guy, gets to sit on the throne of money because when it's flipped on its head like that power dynamic, it's like, you have no product without me breaking my face. He gets to look at all of them and go, there is no money in this sport without my stage.
Right.
And the beauty is boxing will never be that, because it wasn't a figure that built the stage. It was the fighters that built the stage.
And that's the issue with it currently, because I like Canelo as a boxer. I wouldn't say he's necessarily the greatest promoter. Jake Paul, for his faults, he plays the heel perfectly. Even though he really is probably just a pretty good amateur boxer, unfortunately. Jake Paul would be better for the sport if there were more guys near his weight class that he could make these fights around and promote it better.
Right. Have
But
that
instead,
attention.
you have to go and grab the current heavyweight champion of the world, knowing I knew exactly how this fight was going to go. I was like, it's going to be boring the first few rounds because that's what the contract dictates. Netflix is just pissed off that Anthony actually decided to end it in the 5th. The irony, and this is where I'd look at Netflix, and I'd say if this dragged out to the 8th round, he would have literally beat the hell out of a lifeless body because Jake, you get to the 5th round, Jake's exhausted. He could barely stand. Like he's doing, and I agree with Anthony Joshua saying he's got a lot of spirit because he does. The dude was exhausted. I don't know how he kept getting up. He almost got timed out twice because he just was exhausted and hit the ground. You're not going to get more people invested in boxing for the sport when that's the product you're getting.
I mean, look at Brad Richardson. He is the only reason boxing is alive. You know, there's something to be said. I think
Okay, West Ham did say it. I did think it ended in the 5th or the 6th.
not the 5th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's get to that because I do want to hear Ricky's thoughts. But before Ricky, I'm just going to play these 2 clips of Jake Paul. So this first clip is his remarks immediately after, and then we'll get to the.
Not that hard to get your ass beat.
I don't think it was that bad until
No, well,
that last
actually,
couple.
I won 2 rounds
For sure.
and then he won 2, and then I got dropped. Yeah, I was doing good. I just think my cardio, just
His
the
mouth
mental
looks bad.
pressure of the big guy and sparring the big people is different than the 10-ounce gloves. So I was feeling his power a lot more, but it was a great experience. Like I learned a lot in there. I can't really talk.
No shit.
What's funny is he keeps like picking like he's got mustache hairs in his mouth, but it's really just because he's totally numb and has no ability to gauge, is that a hair or just my tingling lip?
And that's the thing too. For Jake admitting it was a cardio thing, it's like, dude, by the 3rd round, it's like Anthony looked like he'd hardly broken a sweat. He'd hardly thrown a punch. And Jake looked like his back was up against the wall the whole time. So for him to say he'd run 2 rounds, sure, maybe on the scorecard that's what they gave you. But from me watching the fights, like he could drop you at any moment. He's just walking you down.
Well,
He's
and
just
again,
choosing not to throw heavy
you
punches
see
at
it in
you.
his face. I mean, he admits it all.
Look at how exhausted Jake looks right there. Just his face. But I understand he's getting punched, but just the sweat, his hair is disheveled.
Red.
Anthony, red. He looks exhausted. Anthony's just whatever.
Yeah,
Like whatever.
dude, and I'm sorry. I know I already made the point, but even in this image alone, or we'll continue it here, but their shoulders, they're 2 different species. They're not even the same. Like you keep going, yeah, it's a different weight class. It's like, no, dude. I love watching UFC and seeing 2 people in the same weight class, and one is just a genetic god, and the other one's just like, I came off the couch today.
Well, it's
And
like
sometimes that guy surprises you, but you look at these, like, I want to hear your thoughts, but just finishing the clip here, their bodies are just, look at that arm. That's a
Look at how-
face splitter.
Look at how that punch was. It felt hardly thrown.
Yes.
It just felt very routine.
Clean.
Clean across, just hardly any put. Boom. Done. Like done. Like
Because you
he
left
could've
it
done-
wide open. And here's the other thing. I think this. Let's get to the other angle. Whoa, this right here. When you see
Look at that
Jake open
arm.
up, and so we're going to see 2 swings and then the punch. When that 3rd punch comes through, Jake's hands are down, and it is so cleanly like you're in the 5th inning of your competitive baseball league, you're in the playoffs, and someone brought out a tee and literally just put the ball, and they're like, have at it. And he's like, you've been swinging at your pitcher who throws 75, 90 all season. And you're like, wait, I could just hit the punching bag.
I get a freebie.
I get a freebie. It's such a clear 1, 2, and then look at it. He's just
Smile.
like, huh?
He's smiling.
Boom. And dude, it's so open. Just really?
And for Anthony, who's actually fighting heavyweights and has done that to heavyweights, you know he was like, this is so easy.
Oh yeah.
It's right there. It's right, balls on the tee. I'm gonna take the shot.
So I want to ask the room here. and everybody in the comments, shout out to all the folks. We even got a Paw Patrol. You can't beat that. That's when we're really getting there.
We needed you policing this fight.
Yes. So here's my inquiry. I want to go back to something Brad Richardson threw out there, because this was relevant this weekend as well. Is the next fight Andrew Tate and Jake Paul? Because apparently Andrew Tate was very unimpressive.
No, because both people are hated. You can't have one be not the heel.
Someone's got to be the top G,
Someone's
though.
got to be the heel.
Somebody's got to be the top G. And there's only one way to find out.
The next fight they're going to try to promote is Jake versus Canelo or something like that. Maybe Gervonta Davis.
Well, so let's get to that.
Might have a fair fight against.
There's one more clip I have of Jake here. One of the questions we have for the show is, do we see this being the end or not? If the whole spectacle drawing people in is to see him get knocked out, and we finally got it, is there anything drawing them in? So Jake, with the mouth wired, asked, is this the end?
Keep boxing.
Yeah.
You really love this shit, huh?
Yeah.
StreamYard.
Boo, StreamYard.
Are you gonna keep boxing?
Yeah.
You really love this shit, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to take some time off, go
What?
support Utah at the Olympics.
So sick.
Then she's going to move to Puerto Rico. I have such baby fever. Like I want kids so bad.
Yeah, you're gonna be a great dad.
Just like your dad.
That being said, though, like his comments, I do agree. Jake likes boxing. He is a boxer. At this point, I consider him a boxer. I just think because the sport is in such disarray, it's hard for him to actually pick a weight class and fight through that weight class to try and be a champ in that weight class. He's got to go and get a bigger, better purse draw in. And from then on, that's where I'm like, okay, maybe Canelo, maybe Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, maybe.
That's the one I see.
A smaller guy. Don't go bigger. Don't go bigger.
Obviously.
I don't think you really can at that point. I mean, Anthony's a big boy. But even still, there's got to be a better avenue for boxing to take. The issue is I don't think boxing's capable of it, because if it was like the UFC, they'd be better at pairing individuals to go fight, and that is a benefit. Even though for love or hate Dana White,
he's calling the shots.
He does have that. Oh, he called out this guy. You're not ready for him yet. This guy's a great lock for you. Boxing, you can name anybody, and they're like, oh, please, God, please take this fight. Huge purse, get viewership. Like boxing didn't promote that fight at all. They promoted that fight. UFC promotes fights. I get it added on my Instagram, even if I don't even know who's anybody else on that card.
Well, and that's a symptom of the boxing mechanism, because you have the actual job role of a promoter. So, back in the 50s, some of the greatest boxers were able to get to those heights because they had an even greater promoter. And unfortunately, that's kind of an old relic that is somewhat slowing down the expansion or eyeball growth.
Think of it this way.
Viewer
boxing
growth.
60 years ago used to be the number one combat sport in America. You're now third behind the UFC and the WWE.
Yeah, that tells you everything. And the fact that somebody would rather watch slap fights tells you how much you've dropped that ball.
Yep. And I blame nothing but boxing.
Right.
I feel bad for the fighters that are actually good fighters, like Anthony Joshua. It's like, that's a good fighter. I would love to see good heavyweight fights. I just don't care. I can't think of many other heavyweight fighters that I'd be excited for them to go out. Because if that was the case, he would not have fought Jake Paul. He wouldn't have fought Jake Paul.
Right.
There's a reason Canelo hasn't fought Jake Paul. For him, he's like, I have other guys in my weight class that I could go out and fight.
And get just as big of a bag.
Right. I think another issue, too, that America has currently, again, boxing, it's worldwide. I can't think of many good or prominent American boxers. And that's this country's issue.
It's true. But that's exactly my point. Latin boxing is owning the sport. Russian boxing is damn good. And so that's Eastern European. The gypsies have dominated it now for a decade.
The closest I would say the Americans have had in the last decade is Gervonta Davis and Wilder Fury.
Yes.
And Wilder Fury lost to Tyson Fury. Great fights. Loved those fights so much. Gervonta Davis, I just don't know enough about that weight class to care so much. And he's really good. He's like a young Floyd. Like he doesn't really lose much. The closest fighter that could fight him would be Ryan Garcia. I just don't care. I just don't care as much.
Well, and at this point, it comes back to why slap fighting is getting the attention boxing isn't. In a world where that is a stream click over, right? Like I just need to pick a different app. Boxing is, we are animals, and the Coliseum is a relic that is desperately preserved for a reason. There's something animalistic in us that loves the sickest version of these. If you could have football, would you rather it two-hand touch, tag, or let's go back to how kick returns used to be? Yeah, and that's exactly where you go. You're like, well, but it's dangerous, and the guy can't eat cereal when he gets to 60 years old. And you're like, I don't give a shit. That's a him problem.
We learned exactly what CTE was, and our best answer was, let's just change the helmet a bit and keep this thing going.
No, our best answer was, shut the doctor up. Shut him up.
Shut Will Smith up in that movie.
So, I want to get Ricky's thoughts, and we could start landing this plane.
Oh, Crawford, good call out, Ricky. I wasn't even thinking about him.
What's that? Crawford v. Jake Paul?
Yeah, Ricky mentioned Crawford too. I keep forgetting about him. He'd be another one, similar size fighter.
It would do numbers, but not sure he wants to lose another. And why I say Andrew Tate, and I know Jake got that fight. Tate looked like Aiden Ross fights. Yeah, I heard it was pretty cheesy and unimpressive.
It was awful.
Which is to say a lot about the big mean Titan that's going to beat everybody up and own the world.
That's the thing. I won't look at the Jake Paul fight and say it was awful for like just a true fighting perspective. It went exactly how you would think so. It's like at any point, Anthony could end this. They're choosing not to because obviously the contract's there. When I see fifth round allegedly, I'm like, yeah, he hardly threw a punch until the fifth round. Literally, he was hardly throwing a punch for the fifth. He was just walking around. Just walking around, and Jake was like hitting the ground because he just get close enough and just wrap. Yeah, that's a lot of weight on you, isn't it? Gonna do that for 3 more rounds, and then I'm gonna start swinging. Are you looking forward to that, Jake? That's how the fight went.
Yeah,
but I watched the Andrew Tate one after the fact, so I knew how it went, just to see like kind of when he mentioned Jake Paul had spirit. I wanted to see the Andrew Tate for like that, and it's like, Andrew, like, you're too old to be fighting because he's a guy in his 40s now, and he said he hasn't fought in like a decade. It's like, yeah, clearly, and it's a goofy fight as is. Like, Jake Paul would have washed both of them. Jake Paul could fight. Like, he can fight. You're just choosing to fight a guy who's giant compared to you. It's not going to go well.
No, I agree. What I want to see is artifacts over here. I want to see Dana White in the ring.
I love that.
I wish I had the clip like easy to access, but I did see a clip today of Dana White going, "Hey, for all of you out here that could call out Mark Zuckerberg, call him a bitch, he would beat all your asses." And it's like, yeah, probably he should. And if he doesn't, then what?
I'd love to see Mark Zuckerberg in the ring.
First off, Elon Musk cheated us all when he got us all, cock teased, excited that he was going to fight Mark Zuckerberg, and then that just fell by the wayside.
He heard Mark was
get
fighting.
Marked.
He
rocked.
He heard Mark had been practicing for like 6 months straight, and that's all he was doing. He wasn't even at Facebook. He heard he wasn't at Facebook for 6 months straight, and he's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
In fact, when Elon Musk created Doge, found like $3 trillion of wasted spending and bullshit in our government, and was like, we need to cut all of this and humble our government. When he reappeared in the Oval Office with a black eye and said, hey, I'm stepping down, it was actually Mark Zuckerberg that gave him that black eye. It was Trump going, bring him in, and he just taped down. He's like, tell this one to the robots.
They did that. Yeah, they had that famous Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed third fight behind closed doors. Don't really know who won.
Zuckerberg! So Ricky, help us land this plane. What are your thoughts on the whole thing? Wrap it up.
Y'all had a lot of wild takes. I'm a casual boxing fan, right? Like, I'm a casual boxing fan, but I can name 5 boxers.
Name 5 fighting right now.
Okay. Lopez, Teomo Lopez, Freddie Roach, Crawford, Canelo, one more?
Jake
Yeah.
Paul.
No,
Jake Paul, like even Tyson Fury, Deontay
that
Wilder.
defeats the
still
purpose if
fighters.
you have to default to the guy.
No, but Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury
Deontay's
didn't
not fighting
retire
right now.
yet. Usyk
He's still
is still
rich to fight.
fighting. What's
Canelo.
Lomachenko is
He
still
said that.
fighting.
Ryan
You know what I
Garcia.
mean? Like there's fighters out there. I'm a casual, and I will tune into boxing on Friday nights, like ESPN Friday Night Boxing. I'll tune in, but don't sound like you guys are boxing, like boxing at all.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for
boxing.
Saturday.
I like boxing. It's just the issue is it's constantly what it's always been. At the end of the day, it's overshadowed by UFC fight nights.
Right. Well, it comes
That's
back to what I
fact.
was saying.
But-
We're animals
but
at heart.
instead of on
I'd
a
much
Friday
rather
night-
watch a UFC fight. Admittedly,
Ye-
that's my preference, but
Me too.
totally my preference.
And these
Ah,
boxers
UFC
don't
is-
fight as often as UFC guys do.
That's true.
So I'm a big UFC fan. UFC over everything. Well, not over football, but UFC is my combat sport. I don't fuck with boxing, but I'm a casual, like literally bare minimum casual. And I was like, instead of one punch, you should put on Friday Night Boxing, Will. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's bowl season, man. Football's on, college football.
Facts. That's facts. But usually boxing be on Friday nights, and there'd be some good fights. The problem with boxing, the main problem is promotion. There's too much, and the other
Exactly,
too much
artifact.
weight, like too much belts in one weight class. Like,
I agree.
why you
That's
have
always been an
5
issue.
belts for one weight class doesn't make no sense. And the other different promoters, different leagues, people trying to make more buck than this person, not trying to make their fighter lose, and too much prep fight. I hate warm-up fights. If you can fight, go in. I like the Dana White method. We're doing style, and we're gonna make it exciting for the fans. We're gonna put you out there instead of I have to go to the WBC and the BBC over here. Pause.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
and, you know, and try to
Pause.
figure it out. But I need Tank Davis. I need him rematch with Roach. That would be an exciting fight right there. I need to see Lopez back in the ring. I haven't seen him in a long time. So there's good fights out there, but 100% right. Boxing is definitely not what it was. It's bad promotion, and they're just being left by the wayside. UFC took over, ate them up, spit them out, ate them up again, and spit them out.
What's BKB boxing?
It's just another boxing league. There's
Okay.
just so
The
many out there
boxing,
now.
bare knuckle,
Bare knuckle,
Wait, is
yeah.
that
Oh, bare knuckle boxing is a
That's just another league.
that's
Can't
a
even
whole
watch
other
that, bro.
level.
That's so vicious.
Ricky,
I
I think
can't
you
watch
nailed
it.
it though when you mentioned like a lot of the problem I have with these boxers are they will take so much time off, whereas like a UFC fighter, if you are in a championship window as a UFC fighter, you'll probably have anywhere from 5 to 6 fights within a year or two. Like you are constantly, you're in the ring, out of the ring in 3 months, you got another fight. It's already being promoted.
Right.
Boxing, Canelo could win a fight, and I think he just did within the last 2 months. I have no idea when he's fighting again. Has been announced.
No,
That's the
he
third
lost.
chance.
He lost to Crawford. That's
And
what
he
I'm saying.
lost to Crawford. So when's Crawford fighting then?
Crawford ain't fighting. Crawford moved up to fight Canelo.
But
and
when's
so
he fighting
Canelo's
again?
dead. We
But
don't
when
know.
is he fight? That's the
That's
thing.
your
See,
point.
that's the
point.
problem. Yep.
You'll have
that's the
Elliot
problem.
Taporia go up a weight class, win a fight already. Well,
And
now
he's
he's
been-
in legal issues, but he did have a fight scheduled where he's like, I'm fighting again soon. That's the thing with the UFC. When you are in a championship window, that's the thing that would piss people off about John Jones, because John Jones would take
Just
as much time
disappeared.
as he wanted
Right.
to. John Jones's benefit is he'd come back and he'd be like, oh, he never left.
Yep, he dominated.
Yes. He's one of the very few fighters who can do that. Connor is another example. But when you're your grinders, your Max Holloways, you got to keep fighting. You got to keep going at it. Because if you don't, you lose that edge. So for those guys, they're constantly doing it. Boxing, it's a little bit different because it is more, keep the elbows in, and that's kind of your defense. It's funny. Anderson Silva fought Tyron Woodley in a boxing match this week, and he won because he feigned a knee.
Oh my god.
So he feigned
bro.
a knee, and Tyron lowered his hands, and he just went right across the face. It was really funny.
It was
really
so
No
cool.
way.
100%.
Tyron Woodley needs to retire, bro. Like
He does need to
that
retire.
was so cold. Like Anderson, a 50-year-old man should not be doing you like that. Tyron
50-year-old
Woodley, I'm
kick
sorry.
and just smacked him across the face.
But again, that's the okay. So I want to get to a question here. Power slap. What is our thoughts? And, you know, I want to sit here and acknowledge what draws me to the UFC over traditional boxing is that animalistic. It feeds this animalistic side in
We
us.
love modern gladiators.
But, and there's a big but. Nicki Minaj is a later, and Cardi B, that's a later topic. But big but, I will say the difference with this situation is the difference is the slap boxing is that at its most degenerate form. Like, let's say
Like
it's
Will
sugar.
Smith at the
This is
Oscars.
pure sugar. Whereas at least UFC or even boxing is like a creme brulee.
It's like
It's a
civilized.
delicate, well-crafted art of sugar. And what you guys just drew upon in a fight that was really unique that you could never find in power slap. You know, I love you, Brad Richardson, but the thing that this misses is the art of the form. You're losing the puzzle, the game strategy. There is an art that was a level of brilliance in a sport that the layman doesn't even realize is at play.
Right.
They sit back and think it's just brutes throwing knobs at each other. And this is a guy that totally embodied knowing everything about his opponent,
Yes.
knowing every possible
100%.
vulnerability that it's like, this may not and should not, at a professional level, at its elite level, this should not work. But I've thought of every possible way to checkmate this, that I'll try it. And shit, if those hands go down,
yeah, it's really smart. I'm fighting a former guy who fought in my sport.
that has built an instinct.
Yes.
Like you've embodied who he is to such a degree that you know an instinct he may not be able to fight. Just like a doctor hitting your knee with the hammer and you're in, whoop, my knee just jerked. He knows that he will tap into something that only the most superior would have mastered, and even they would struggle with it.
Right. The beauty with power slap is it's just a bunch of guys outside a bar or a barn after like 5-6 drinks, just slapping the shit out of each other. So there's a beauty in that to some. But when it comes to like the combat fighting, again, you keep mentioning it. We love our modern gladiators. There's something to it. Like there is something to it when you're watching a fight with like people who don't watch it. And they're like commenting on like, ooh, that was a big hit. And you're like, yeah, did you see how he set it up? Like you, the viewer that's watched so much fighting, because I've watched so much UFC over the years, I know what they're setting up while they're doing it. And it's like, ooh, I wonder if it's going to work out for them or how they're going to execute that takedown. And once they're on the ground, you're like, don't give up your neck, keep the chin tucked, grab his wrists. You as a viewer is watching, knowing damn well that the fighter, that's going through all their heads.
Yes. All right. We've really kind of exhausted this and we still got a lot to go. So Ricky, any other wrapping thoughts before we close out the topic?
At first, I thought it was a UFC fight because Jake Paul kept going to his knees and grabbing Joshua. But, man, it's what I expected. I expected an earlier knockout. If Joshua didn't knock him out, I'd have literally dropped boxing by the wayside. But I'm glad he did what he did. And shout out to Jake because I would have never.
Well, with all that being said, Dana White better be quivering in his boots because I think Artifacts is going to be he should take on the role of the new future promoter. This is a fight we need. Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate power slapping. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Back to the Jake Paul fight. What do they call it? Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
We would all get a kick out of the pleasure at someone's misfortune.
I don't care who wins.
So do you want to give any wrapping thoughts on the whole deal?
I don't really have anything else to add. It was a fine fight. It was entertaining to a certain degree. I was frustrated the whole time because my fighter mentality is like, this guy shouldn't be fighting that guy. It should already be over. I am glad though that Anthony did decide to end it how he ended it. He could have easily not done that. He could have easily just waited it out, thrown some punches. He saw the opening and the boxing instinct, saw the ball and tee and said, yeah, I'm teeing off.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just one tee. It was just one swing.
100%. All right, so closing it out here, So when all the jokes are done, the clips stop looping, and the memes move on, here's the uncomfortable truth we're left with. Jake Paul wasn't the disease. He was the diagnostic test. He showed us exactly what modern entertainment has become. A system that no longer rewards excellence, mastery, or even authenticity, but instead feeds on resentment, outrage, and the collective hunger to watch someone fall. He didn't tune in because we respected the sport. We tuned in because we wanted to feel something, preferably at someone else's expense. And once that moment finally arrived, once the illusion cracked, the spectacle lost its power, not because justice was served, but because the transition was complete. The audience got what it paid for. The danger, that's the danger of building an entire industry on schadenfreude. Once the fall happens, there's nowhere left to climb. If Jake Paul's run really ends here, it won't be remembered as the downfall of a villain. It'll be remembered as the endpoint of a culture that traded substance for spectacle, competition for content, and greatness for clicks, and then acted shocked when the product felt hollow. This wasn't boxing's lowest moment. It was our most honest one, because the question was never, is Jake Paul a real boxer? The real question was, why did we keep paying to watch him at all? And if we don't answer that honestly, someone else will step into that exact same role, louder, cheaper, and even less interested in pretending this was ever about the sport. The villain can always be replaced. The audience is the constant. So, maybe this next topic here, we can try to keep it a little bit more brief, because I anticipate the latter topic to be a little bit deeper. But this one's a doozy. The UK seems to be a microcosm for the hellscape we can plan for. So the United Kingdom is quietly testing the limits of what due process actually means. And most people won't notice until it's already gone. Buried under the language of efficiency and backlog reduction are legal reforms that move more criminal cases out of jury trials and deeper in the hands of magistrates. That's true. The UK has now made jury trials illegal and have given all power to magistrates to rule in any favor as long as the sentence is less than 2 years, and then it's unable to be appealed. So, restricting these routes for cases carrying shorter sentences around 2 years. The justification is simple. The courts are overwhelmed, they say. Too many cases, too much delay, not enough judges, jurors, or time. And on the surface, I get it. An overrun justice system is a real problem. Victims wait years, defendants sit in limbo, taxpayers foot the bill. Something clearly isn't working. But here's where the alarm bells start ringing. The answer to a stressed system is not to cheat the process. It's not to quietly downgrade the citizens' right to be judged by their peers. It's not to make appeals harder just because the sentence is only 2 years. Liberty doesn't stop mattering because the punishment clock is shorter. This is the same country that has arrested people over memes, jokes, and online speech, while simultaneously insisting the justice system is too busy to handle real crime properly. That contradiction matters, because when enforcement becomes selective, efficiency stops being neutral and starts becoming political. You don't fix a leaking roof by removing the fire alarm. What makes this especially dangerous is how it's being sold, not as a power grab, but as a temporary fix, a pragmatic adjustment, a necessary trade-off. That's always how rights shrink, not in dramatic bans, but in reasonable exceptions that somehow never expire and continue to move the goalpost. And while politicians point to court congestion, they're far less eager to address the root causes of this congestion. Mass case volume driven by policy choices, enforcement priorities, and social strain on a system that was never designed to absorb all of this at scale. Instead of confronting those failures, the burden gets shifted onto the public. Fewer safeguards, fewer chances to challenge the state, fewer voices in the courtroom. That's not reform, that's retreat. A justice system doesn't prove its strength by how fast it processes its people. It proves it by how carefully it protects them. And once you normalize the idea that due process is optional when things get inconvenient, you've already decided it's not a right at all. It's a privilege, and a privilege can always be revoked. So I want you guys to remember, I could have bored you with all the clips on the internet right now of folks being arrested by the United Kingdom police just for memes they're posting on the internet. And it's important to kind of keep that on balance in this consideration because, one, we know that the UK's crime rates are through the roof. Look at this graph here. Let's go a little bit larger. This is 1971. This is the UK over time. And of course, we're not allowed to consider these types of things. But when in literally just then the next 4 years, that goes to 23%, less than a quarter of what makes the United Kingdom what it is. And something we're not allowed to acknowledge is how many of them in this recent span are those undocumented migrants. And the biggest problem is getting a front row seat to them running rampant, committing crimes, theft, abuse, can't say the word, abuses, without permission, all these things, all bad. And none of them go enforced. The law turns a blind eye, not because it's the law, but because they don't like who's committing these actions. It burdens the narrative. So they look the other way, and then it gets totally out of control. And then when people start, there's only one way to deal with this type of atrocity, as humans have for thousands of years. It's through satire and comedy. And so when you have a country that goes around arresting folks for memes and raising awareness to the fire in the streets, take that parallel to the exact narrative we're dealing in America right now. So continue to consider, eliminate the jury trial, make magistrates who you did not vote for, appointed by the system, you can't appeal of it, not able to be appealed. And then these are the mentalities of the government actors that will, bring you to court?
Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence. Because
so she can run an entire election on a fake Russian hoax and then look at all of us and say, but they need to go to jail for some memes. There's misinformation out there. A world where you're stripped of the jury trial, then you're slowly stripped of your appeal. Do you truly believe it stops there? What world do you live in that you believe it never stops? It's in a momentum. It will continue to progress, especially as long as you allow it.
You got to give me a sec there. I was not expecting that jump scare.
Emperor Palpatine, I never die.
I was not expecting that one. Ooh.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy is deep here.
Yes. There's a lot of things at play, right? Because you criminalize your community for wanting to preserve its community. Not because they're racist, but because there's a system in bringing these people in, and you're circumventing that, and it's killing community. It's killing that one thing that kind of brings a commonality into our neighborhood, how we share and build and bond and grow with each other. You're stripping that, but then also, because the narrative is so protected, you're giving them the free pass to be entirely abusive to society with no accountability. And then over here on a totally separate track is but we hate the people that talk about it. So we're going to make that a crime too. And then we're going to just own you in the courtroom. We own you in the courtroom.
The sick irony whenever we have these discussions around the UK and other countries outside of the United States, it makes our justice system seem pretty fair.
Well, when she's calling the shots, you got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't. The wig thing. It is funny. You go watch an English courtroom, and it's like they got to have the wig. You're like, what does this do today for us? Like, I understood 1,000 years ago, everybody had syphilis and everything else, and you know, it was like, well, we have white powdered hair because I don't want you to see my rashing scalp.
They had a leper do it back in the day with a mask on, but a wig.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was to prevent like lice too. Like that was
Yes.
part
Oh,
of
that's
it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's a real thing today too, so I get it.
Right, that's where I'm at. It's like, so why do we continue this charade? Because, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen their parliament in session,
No.
but it's one of these, you know, they have a talking stick. Pass me the spear. I've got a comment. And it's just like, but no substance comes out of this room. So what is the talking stick really solving for us?
Maybe
It's all a
country
charade.
Should have a talking stick. Sometimes I've seen our parliament, and that should probably be leveraged.
Yeah, you know, we do the talking stick, and then Thomas Massey would never get it.
There's a thing called
true.
decorum.
It's true. Yeah, decorum's out the window, I guess, when you decide to just send someone to jail for 2 years for meme.
NBD. So there's multiple angles to this whole thing. Not going to Ricky. Wish you guys could see what we can see.
Where's that hat?
Where's that at?
Put the hat on.
Being outside.
Put the hat on.
So I guess, what are your thoughts on its surface of this? Like, we know it doesn't end here. So what does this say about the current state of the United Kingdom?
I can't say the word. Not good. What is their end goal doing this? I understand they're
So
saying
here's what's
for
intriguing.
overload, but like at what point are they going to say it's not overloaded when they have all these policies that are constantly filling the buffet station? You get what I mean?
Right. Well, it's on its surface, it struck a chord with me where I was like, oh, you know what? This might be the right decision, because leading up to this story, before I heard of the story, I'm like, if my reflection on the United Kingdom is they're not doing enough. The crime is going through the roof, and the people are sitting ducks to be plucked by these invaders, because there's literally no other way to put it. That's how the people are putting it. And then you arrest them for saying it that way.
Just put up the racist chart. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I got some thoughts. They're eating the dogs and the cats. And they're like, get them. So
2 years.
2 years, get them. So my knee-jerk impression leading up to before the story was they got a problem and they got to do something about it. So it's interesting that the system goes, hey, we got a problem. Turns out, can't keep up with the problem. So, cool thing is, you guys aren't those assholes that divorced us and went across the pond and made a constitution. You don't have one. We make the rules here, and we're changing them.
All while wearing a wig.
Oh, well, yes. Put that powder wig back on. Honey, tell them. So we're changing the rules, and there's nothing you can do about them. Oh, cool. What are the rules? You know those peers? We don't like what they're tweeting, so they're not going to be the jury anymore. It's going to be me. And I get to appoint my friends, and they get to put you away, and you can't appeal it.
It's like the one's a Man U fan, and the guy who did the crime is a Man City fan. He's like, 2 years.
Dude,
I don't make the rules.
Sorry.
I don't mean he starts doing one
The
of their.
stadium's empty. Oh, does the competitor have nobody to cheer
Oh,
for?
now we don't have to hear those stupid chants. Wonder what that's about.
But there is an inverse to this logic that I'm curious if anybody picked up on. I read this article and it goes, where magistrates can put you away for 2 years without an appeal. And I'm like, well, magistrates are lower on the totem pole than the judges.
Right.
So does that mean the judges have always had this? And it was like, oh, yeah.
Judges have absurd power, man.
No,
Judges-
not in the United States. I'm talking about in the United Kingdom.
Ah.
They also have an even higher standard of inability to appeal.
We know.
So it's
judges.
like, I'm not going to go there.
We know judges. Imagine if the judges we know sanctioned this.
What are you drawing on?
I just couldn't see the judges we know doing that.
Doing what?
Passing.
What do you mean?
Allowing magistrates to have the full autonomy that the judges themselves have. You get what I mean?
And there's a true American logic there where even they would like, I don't think that's the
Right,
best
you know
idea.
what I mean? Like the
That'd
checks
be a
and
problem.
balance
Right.
for them to just say, give it to them as well.
So, Artifacts puts it right. You have government endorsed invaders. That's a perfect way to put it. Government endorsed invaders, then government jailings, government prosecutions for even acknowledging it. It's like, I put a red apple here, and it's like, whoa, red apple? Can't say it. Jail. Nope. Did you see that red? First off, you said the color of the apple. You're not even allowed to acknowledge it's here. Jail. And you're like, oh, shit, I already tweeted 3 times about it. 3 times jail. And your buddy liked it. Jail.
3 jails, 4 jails, 5 jails. That's how they're
Every
just
time
getting
you
it
get a
out.
like, you're like, fuck.
Stop.
And it's all Americans like, yeah, man.
Get him.
Get him.
Get him.
What's also funny is, again, we could have bored you with all these videos. There's another one where a guy's getting arrested and there's his neighbors filming him. He's like, whoa, you're arresting him for a Facebook post? And the cop goes, are you Chad Johnson? He's like, well, he goes, you like the post. We're arresting you too. And he's like, no, what the fuck? It's like, we laugh because it's true. That's terrifying.
I can't see it happening here. Just knowing,
No.
the judges.
It's almost like rule 1.
yes.
The First Amendment makes sure of it.
It's almost like we had that country in mind when we made that rule.
That's what I mean. Whenever we talk about the UK on this show, I'm just like, what a disaster. And it's a never-ending car crash that I can't take my eyes off of.
But
and
they
I
look
can't
good.
Stop liking and sending them back to jail.
There's a reason we literally have our Bill of Rights, and it's because of all the things they did and are still doing today because they don't have a Bill of Rights.
It's true.
Just for at the end of the day, a guy in a powdered wig or a woman in a powdered wig to just bang the gavel in 2 years.
Goodbye. I'll see you in 2 years.
Shout out to Corum.
Alex,
I'll tell you if Jake Paul beats Andrew Tate.
Alex, you're our court expert. Can't you in the U.S. appeal a magistrate ruling? Don't you go to a magistrate before a judge and then you
Cost you
can go
money,
to a
but for
judge?
$25, yes, you can. $25, you can humble that bitch quick.
Yeah. So at least here, judges, magistrate, you go there to try and go there first. You can still at least take it further.
Well,
I
and
couldn't
again,
imagine
that's
not
why
being able to take it further.
that's why there's such a knee-jerk reaction. The second there should, it's one thing for the trier of fact to get your appeal and go and throw it away, but there needs to be oversight. In a very human system, the only way to ensure some culpability and accountability, it's by any form of overt oversight. Oh, well, it's a muni level.
A little tidbit of information we gave you there.
Let me bring in Ricky. Let's land this plane because we got a solid topic coming up at the end. Ricky, give us your thoughts on the whole UK system and then give us your rapping thoughts.
Go Bucks.
This is my rapid thought. 36.8 whites in UK is shocking because I thought it was just nothing but mayonnaise. Still, with all the problems they had, I thought it was just still nothing but mayonnaise. That is shocking though. Like for a country to feel like they're losing their identity is crazy because Jamaica is having a problem with a lot of Chinese moving into Jamaica, and it didn't start today. Yesterday, it started from when I was a kid. Oh, you missed. You probably wasn't here for that. You probably was doing your home thing to get to your house. But yeah, so there's a lot of Chinese moving in. So I understand they feel damn, they come in and it seems like they have more rights than you to do more stuff when nigga, I was born here. What the fuck? But UK lost me when they start banning drill rappers on YouTube. Because that's when I ultimately knew that you can't do shit in the UK. You can't even rap, even if you didn't do the crime or nothing. If they think it's against their culture or against, society, they can ban you off YouTube from promoting bad music. And thank God for American Founding Fathers, man. I fuck with y'all because that's why I'm here, and I love all the rights I have on this day. Doug nailed it on the head. The Bill of Rights, the freedom of speech, everything. The Second Amendment, anything. Pow, pow. Thank God for the Founding Fathers of America, bro. No
pop, pop. Well, Ricky, I got to tell you, you had a pretty fun comment there as far as your initial surface impression of the UK. But I got to tell you, that mayo is fully getting consumed by Vegemite at this point. It ain't mayo no more. It's some Australian paste.
That chart was ridiculous.
Yeah, that chart is telling. Give me your rapping thoughts, Will, and then we'll close out the topic.
My rapping thought is pretty simply put. I would hate to be sent to jail by a powdered wig individual for a tweet where I can't even appeal the process, knowing damn well that the guy isn't a full-fledged judge. Like, what is more humbling than that?
Right.
What is more humbling than that? If a judge does it, unfortunate.
We voted for it.
Yes.
Right. That we put this person in that position.
It reminds me of that scene in The Dark Knight Rises when Cillian Murphy's doing the jury.
Yes.
And he's just sending him, and he's like, oh, exile. And he sends him out to the ice.
Hey, I remember you. He's like, yeah, you do remember me. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
In and out. That was quick conversation. Good to see you, partner.
And that's the UK now. Bane walked in, broke it all down, and gave it to the crazy guy. And the crazy guy's like, listen, I will exile my brother. I want to stay in charge. Whoop.
Oopsies.
Closing out the topic. And no, we're not closing out Prince Andrew. When a country starts treating due process like an inconvenience instead of a foundation, that's not reform, that's decay. Yes, the United Kingdom justice system is overwhelmed. Yes, backlogs are real. Yes, something has to change. But history is very clear on this point. When the state solves its own failures by stripping protections from the public, the system doesn't get healthier. It gets meaner. Jury trials weren't cheated for efficiency. Appeals weren't designed for speed. They exist because the power imbalance between the state and the individual is enormous. And once you remove friction from that power, abuse doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. What makes this moment especially dangerous is how just quiet it is. There's no emergency declaration, no tanks in the streets, just a slow reframing of rights as luxuries and safeguards as obstacles. And while citizens are told this is about easing court pressure, the deeper issues, enforcement priorities, social policy failures, mass migration strains, selective policing, remain conveniently untouched. You don't fix a broken system by weakening the people inside it. A society that arrests citizens over speech, limits their ability to defend themselves in court, and then tells them it's all for the sake of efficiency isn't preserving order. It's redefining obedience. And once that line shifts, it never shifts back on its own. The real test of justice systems isn't how it operates when things are easy. It's whether it still honors principles when things are hard. If the answer is no, then the system isn't under strain. It's revealing what it actually values. And what being lost here isn't just a legal process. It's trust, it's legitimacy, and eventually it's freedom. Speaking of freedom, God bless America. And it's time to usher in the new dawn of American politics. Really a mirror, who we are, and a true reflection of our nature. Somewhere along the way, American politics stopped pretending it was about policy and just leaned all the way into celebrity warfare. And now we've reached the inevitable end game. American politics isn't red versus blue. It's Team Cardi B versus Team Nicki Minaj. This didn't come out of nowhere. Cardi B has been flirting with politics for years now. She famously sat down with Joe Biden during the 2020 campaign from his literal basement and was treated by the media as a serious political voice. Think about that for a second. A former stripper turned rapper became the cultural translator for a presidential candidate, and nobody in the establishment blinked. That wasn't an accident. That was strategy. Cardi represents the new model of political messaging. Vibes over vocabulary, emotion over expertise. You don't need to understand monetary policy if you can yell about the system loud enough on Instagram Live. And to be fair, she never claimed to be a philosopher. The media crowned her one because she delivered eyeballs, not ideas. Enter Nicki Minaj
With a steel chair.
at a Turning Point USA party. Literally, it was the WWE. Dun, 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 here comes Erica. Nicki didn't wake up one day and decide to be a Republican mascot. She became one by refusing to fall in line. Her COVID vaccine skepticism, her refusal to parrot approval talking points, and her general unwillingness to submit to the culture's new moral referees made her radioactive to the left overnight. The same machine that elevated Cardi suddenly turned on Nicki, not because Nicki changed, but because she didn't obey. And that's where the feud gets political. The Cardi B Nicki Minaj beef has always been personal, messy, and rooted in ego, clout, and industry rivalry, but now it's been rebranded as ideological. Cardi is positioned as the loud, chaotic avatar of progressive culture. Nicki is being cast as the defiant, no-cap truth teller who won't apologize. And by default, she's been adopted by the right as proof that not every powerful woman needs to recite the same script. Neither of these women are fighting legislation. Neither is reading the papers themselves, but both are being used as symbols in a culture war that no longer cares about governance. Politics has become the WWE, heroes and villains, factions and feuds, and policy is just a backdrop music. We make this whole thing darkly hilarious by the same people who scream out, threats to democracy are perfectly comfortable if we're outsourcing political influence to rappers with beef histories longer than their voting records. And the same system that once told us celebrities should stay out of politics now begs them to pick a side, as long as it's the right one. This isn't empowerment, it's degradation. When politics devolves into Cardi versus Nicki, it's not because either woman asked for that responsibility. It's because the political class has failed so hard at earning trust that they need pop stars to launder their credibility. This isn't a movement, it's marketing. We're all supposed to clap like seals, pretending it's progress. So why is this such a topic right now? Because Cardi took some jabs at Nicki, because Nicki became this honorable mention at the TPUSA Am Fest. Why don't you just call it America Fest? America isn't that long, but that's neither here nor there.
It's a big word for homo.
Yeah, it's true. And Elmo's the president. So looking at the TPUSA event, yeah, straight up before I move on. This was the political scientist that interviewed our president from his basement as he ran through his election.
He doesn't even know what that is anymore.
No. He's smelling for him, but he can't find him.
Oh my God.
He needs to get with who's the guy that
Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky. Who's the guy that I wish could have got high because I got high.
Afro Man.
Yeah.
Afro Man. Yes.
Afro Man told us, you know,
That is your black correspondent.
morning, ladies. Yeah. He's still smelling for him. So getting it back to the getting it back to the TPS USA event, Nicki Minaj was this honorable mention. And I just want to point out, you know, she was having this beautiful interview with the Wicked Witch of the West, and the just a Freudian slip came. There was a lot of Freudian slips in this TPS USA thing. Oh my God. She's talking. The Wicked Witch of the West is like, you know, she's in the middle of heavily mourning, and she goes, oh my God, this poor kid, he's such a gift. Oh shit, kid, you're not a grift. I'm tired. Did I tell you I'm mourning?
Did I tell you I'm mourning? I did it, by the way. I'm mourning.
Yeah, I caught that clip. No, so here's her talking to Nicki Minaj, and what a moment. What an awkwardly beautiful moment.
Dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
What?
And when I say that,
Look, she catches herself. This is the moment where she's like, I say that.
I just want to say, hold on. I just want to say, I feel like Nicki Minaj has been going through something before this train has happened, because for the past 3 months on Black Twitter, she's been going on it.
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Like,
Because it's been leading up
against
to
Rock
this point,
Nation,
right? Like,
and
this has clearly been in the works. Her card has been pulled by the triangle people at the top that call the shots. And they're like, all right, let's start laying the groundwork. This has been, she went to the White House a month and a half ago. She's been chirping, like you said, on Twitter like crazy, at Cardi B, at all the libtards. She's just been
Jay-Z, like, just specifically Jay-Z, like,
I didn't see that. I'm not on Black Twitter, so
like specifically Rock Nation.
Why don't we get the Jay-Z hate rolling over into white Twitter? We can have some fun with that too.
Like, there's a lot going on over there, bro. I see it on the tubes, but there's a lot going on over there. She has a real bad vendetta going on with Rock Nation, and seeing her with like doing all this, I don't know. Maybe in a year or two, we see a Rico come down on the Rock. I don't know, or something. I don't know.
It is all one big Rico, but when the Rico's so big that it's left, right, and the Illuminati daddy all in one, you're not winning that. So, just finishing the clip here, an interesting moment, none to say the least.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president
himself.
And when I say that,
Yeah, watch it. It hits her. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Oh.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard. So you're
Remember,
fine.
I've been mourning. I'm past.
I already forgave him. That was day 2.
Where do you go from there?
You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back. And this is what's so beautiful about this moment, because if the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a soul and a heart for the Lord. And words are words, but I know her heart.
Wait. Words are words, but I do support Ben Shapiro in wanting to arrest all your asses for threatening God's chosen folks.
Yeah, I wonder where Nicki was for 3 months.
Is that a wall? I'd love to make out.
It doesn't even matter. And you say what you want to say because I know your heart. I will not judge that.
Sister. Thank you. For boys.
For the boys.
For the boys. Yeah, that's what JD was like.
Yeah.
This is for the boys. For the boys. Okay.
What's the rebuttal?
You have a political faction that's in shambles. It's totally dissolved. And much of it being a result of the party failing to actually represent its people and then holding it against its people. You could hear them out, or you could belittle them and berate them to get back in line.
We're bringing Nicki.
And they're like, yeah, they're white guys. They're all these stupid Christian white guys. Get pink Nicki Minaj out there. She'll get them. She sang about her booty once, and they loved it.
But did she have that one song?
Well,
Shitted on him.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
That's right. Shit it on
Fire
him.
song.
That is. No, I keep trying to think of the one that was like a classic that was from when we were a kid that she redid. I like big butts and I can't lie.
My anaconda don't.
Anaconda, that's
My
right.
Anaconda, I put it, yeah.
Yeah, he put it in there.
WAP versus Anaconda. That's the new Jake Paul fight.
This is the new American political faction. WAP versus Anaconda. Well, just picture a bunch of boomers at the center of town with their signs. Vote WAP. WAP has the right policies today. Immigration.
You're missing
Dude,
an
you're
S.
making a joke, and it's really pissing me off that it's true.
Yeah.
Like, I could totally see a liberal boomer doing that.
Alex, you're missing an S. It's wasp. Wasp.
No, it's definitely what?
Doug made himself laugh.
Wasp, man. It's all about the waspy class. The
What are
wasp.
you?
Oh, wasp.
White
Oh.
Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Come on, people.
Yeah, no. How dare we not catch that?
It's straight bombs.
It's only the people that rule our country, Rockefellers and whatever,
I call them
You're right.
Japs.
You're right. Forgive me.
You know what? I'm just going to say a little small country the size of New Jersey was like, whew, for once, someone's saying they're running the country.
We're persecuted.
We're always persecuted. But it is wild that this is the face of American politics now.
Why do they look the same?
Because they are. If you live in a world where you don't look at them as the exact same person, you have cheated yourself.
Did they
Yeah,
always
Ricky,
look
try
the same?
even humbling that point.
Ricky, did they always look the same, or am I ignorant?
Hold on. Are we going to sit here and pretend
I'm just gonna
Ricky?
say-
I'm being honest. I'm
I'm just
genuinely
gonna
asking.
say,
Wait, go.
people in that industry tends to look alike. The chin,
They
the
tend to-
jaws.
They look
booty,
alike. They talk alike.
Like,
It would.
act alike. It's just
We
like
would be lying if we didn't say if I looked at Ricky and said, "This is Rory McIlroy and this is Bryson DeChambeau." If Ricky sat back and went, "Same guy," not even the same country, I'd go, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah.
They'd hate that you say that. They're enemies, but they're the same person.
Yeah.
So
Come
it's
on
like we're what?
you could tell a European face from a chubby American. An athletic
One
chubby
definitely
American.
did grow up in a strip club in America, and the other one was groomed by a European system.
Oh, my God.
I can
Separated
tell
at birth.
African different listen, I can tell an African different from a Jamaican. Off team.
It's fair. That's a good point.
Fair. Apt.
Ricky
Based.
is our man.
Based. Separated at birth. The crazy thing is, Nicki could literally be her mom.
Yeah, I've never really kind of
That's why you got to hand it to Nicki.
Conceptualize
Nicki's been
that.
holding it down way longer.
never, I guess, conceptualized that. Yeah, there is a considerable age gap between the two of them, isn't there?
Yeah, but they're the same. That's how hard it is to get another Nicki. She doesn't go away. She doesn't lose
She
her
really is
influence.
the queen at it.
And it
She's
is
still at
crazy.
it.
Something we did just kind of glossed over, never actually exclaimed. Ricky points out she's not even a citizen. So
Oh, she isn't
the special guest affecting American politics isn't even an American citizen.
at Amfest.
I didn't know that. A guy on TikTok raged over it,
Wait, what's
and I had to go look it up.
What is her
What is she,
like
Jamaican?
nationality, Alex? Because I didn't even know.
Trinidad
that
and
either.
Tobago.
I had no idea.
Trinidad. She's Trinidad and
She's a
Tobago.
Trini. She's a Trini against the party of trannies. She's a Trini.
Stop doing that. Please.
You know, the funny thing is, majority of Nicki
Trinidad
fans
and
haven't been having
Tobago.
backlash because of this. Because majority of her fans, a lot of her fans, I wouldn't say many, but a lot of her fans are LGBTQ. They're the
Oh,
alphabet.
duh.
soup.
Wait, who's
So,
Cardi's
hey,
or Nicki's?
Oh,
Nicki's.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
Yeah, well,
What's gonna
mostly
change?
Nicki.
That's going to
Mostly Nicki.
change.
I'm a fan.
It's going to be a bunch of
But
white
no.
guys in a
And you
truck
see-
bed.
You see a lot of them with platforms like, I'm still gonna listen to music. This is sad what she's doing, but I'm still gonna listen.
Well, it's like whenever
That's a great impression, by the way.
Well, it's like whenever Kanye does something, you're like, oh my god, his sales are gonna go down. It's like up. You're going up. It's Kanye. Stop it.
He drew a box with 4 corners and a couple missing lines. More money.
More
money.
money.
So, I could really exhaust us in the TPUSA spectacle. It's not even really worth talking about. But there is one thing I want to kind of just touch, get your guys' thoughts, and we can move on. But Charlie Kirk had an impression. He had a relevance. People knew of him. And his relevance only grew in the more recent years. That election, he was a very prominent present figure. And never did I know the organization he represented. I knew Steven Crowder was coming from Louder with Crowder, and he's a nobody. But that's even aside. I didn't really know what TPUSA was. And if you would have stopped me, not in September, let's go to August. Do you even know what Turning Point USA is? Off the top of my head, I'd be like, nope.
I did, but I didn't fully understand the grass that I was like in schools nationwide.
Yeah, right. Well, and maybe that's it. And maybe the kid could join in on that. Maybe there was a presence in college beyond what we saw, and therefore it never kind of impacted us. What I will say is, me, Doug, the kid, we all went to the same school, and Milo Yiannopoulos, the year I graduated, so now it's 2016 and Trump's becoming president. Milo, I'm gone. Milo goes to speak at the school, and there's these protests, and they tried to prevent him from coming to speak. And I'm like, whoa, that was such a shell shock to me, because that was so not the school I went to. I just could never have pictured our school being one of those, and we became it. So I bring that up because I look at something like Charlie Kirk and this program. Charlie Kirk was relevant. To me, TPUSA wasn't. And overnight, this $100 million God's chosen people run political party, because that's what it's become, its own political party. It's not even the Republican Party. You've waged war with half the party, the solid majority of your base, to the point where they don't have a home here. And now the only folks left is the sheeple just blindly following TPUSA. And it's crazy that they put on a festival like this, and you would have thought, like, the way it's being covered, the way the public talks about it, you would have thought, hey, did you see the new Disney movie? It's like, no, I didn't even know these people existed less than a year ago. I didn't know what this program was. And now it's the most, and it defines the majority voting faction of our country. To me, that seems so twisted. And that should tell you how inorganic and manufactured this $100 million psyop is. And am I off base for making that exclamation? Because to me, something feels unreal, manufactured.
Well, it's 100% manufactured, because before Charlie's,
hey, Nikki said it. Yes. JD Vance.
Before that, it was Charlie. Charlie was the movement. They didn't need Nicki Minaj to come on stage to promote Charlie. Charlie was just him. That's what made him so special. And I think post what happened to him, it's a monster. It's a monster of what it used to be, to where you have his wife, who I don't know if she's doing this. I'm assuming she's doing this, but she's got a little bottle in her pocket that when the camera's not on her, she turns around. For some reason, everybody in the audience doesn't see her go like,
those are real tears.
Right. Bringing out Nicki Minaj and these others with the steel chairs coming off the high top rafters. Like, it used to not be like that, because it used to be Charlie, and that used to be a legitimate message. Charlie was the message. I couldn't tell you what Turning Point USA's message is post Charlie. I could tell you what it was pre-Charlie, because it was him. Now it's this amalgamation of other things, and then JD Vance is somehow there. Always, I don't know how, really don't know how, other than Erica.
I know how. He's the assassin.
Well, Will, dude, when
Nicki Minaj,
a whole organization is based around one man, and you lose that one man, it is hard to tell what an organization is or what it's going to be. I mean, it is hard to know what they're going to stand for when you lose the guy that they were all standing behind, you know?
Right. But my issue is when I see how quickly after the widow, and I don't even really want to say her name, but the widow went on this tour.
It's the Wicked Witch of the West. She prefers Ezra.
And she just sort of was doing these WWE walkouts constantly left and right. And it's this whole spectacle. And I'm sure they were doing stuff like that with Charlie before. But that was when it was Charlie saying, and Charlie was this central figure. And now she's the other figure. I've never seen more celebrities involved with Charlie's thing than when Charlie was around, other than other conservative voices like Louder with Crowder and other ones that we all knew about a year ago when the election was going on. I have no idea what's going on with it. I'm kind of terrified of it. But then it makes me laugh when it does Nicki Minaj, not in like a good laugh, like when Trump would make us laugh. Right?
Right.
This is like, what is happening here?
Right.
And why am I completely turned off of it?
So the way I look at it is, Doug, try your best to keep your pants dry with this metaphor.
Oh, I'll try. Okay.
So the metaphor is you've got Homer Simpson and Marge in their home.
Okay.
And then what's the Sanders? I gotcha. I knew it. Keep your pants dry, Doug. I know I'm doing a Simpsons reference. Keep it dry.
Homer and Marge sitting in their house, Doug. And then what? And then what?
It sounds like a knock-knock joke.
Yes,
it's like, oh yeah, I've been there before. I've seen that one before. Continue. Sorry.
If you're about to quote an episode, I can tell you what episode.
Oh, all right. So what is it? Floyd Sanders? What's the neighbor? Ned Sanders?
Ned Flanders.
There it is. I'm close.
You're close.
Ned
I got
Flanders?
half, you got half.
All right. Ned Flanders. Deion Sanders. Same guy. Anyway.
Dude.
Howdly doodly, neighbor.
Thank you. So
That's not
Homer hates Ned, right?
Okay.
Am I missing that?
Nope, you're right.
All right. So Homer hates Ned.
Spot on,
Okay.
spot on.
So the metaphor of the Republican Party right now is Homer and Marge getting in a bad domestic fight, just yelling at each other. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You fat bitch. You don't make good porridge. They just go back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. My duff isn't cold enough. And then Ned sits next door and he's like, yum, 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 yum. Well, he's not hating me. And those are the liberals. And I just want you to picture Homer going, the duff isn't cold enough. Ned, I'm mad. I still hate, you're the worst. This doesn't take away from you're never getting the vote, but fuck you, Marge. And that's kind of what I'm experiencing right now is every time this continues to unravel, it's like, don't even, I'm still not coming next door, Ned. You're still way gone, but you and I got a problem, Marge, and I hope we can work it out. Otherwise, I'm taking the house.
So what you're saying is Ned Flanders is Cardi B.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that analogy. Alex, love it.
I know. Well, keep the pants dry. I'm begging you. The kid doesn't want it that wet over there.
My pants are dry. I'm just very proud of your sense of analogy. I have to give it to you. I love that analogy. I'm very proud.
Well, wonderful.
Very proud.
I literally got 3 words into that and you started laughing.
That was a great
All he had
pickup.
to do was go Homer and Marge and Ned Flanders, and I laughed.
He's like, son of a bitch, I've been there.
No, because that's more Simpson terminology than I've ever heard Alex use.
Well, let me say, Fortnite Simpsons really got me educated the last chapter.
Apparently so.
So let's kind of close out the topic because it's one of those Ben Shapiro walks out and he goes, I think I'm the face. I was a never Trumper, but I'm the face of the party. And every person that's going to talk after me is I told them to my face, a friend, so I could get on their show. They're all assholes and I hate them. And they all come out and they're like, well, turns out that guy I'm learning today is not my friend. And we also dislike him. Still hate Candace, but we don't like the guy that spoke first. And it's just this family quarrel that I don't see an end in sight that doesn't force a logical debate on the facts. Because the one thing Dave Smith, I guess I'm showing my colors. I'm a libertarian at heart. But the truth is, the point he keeps raising is Ben Shapiro can't go to the microphone and go, everything they say is wrong. Trust me. And then lie your whole career. You manipulated us through COVID. You've manipulated us through the past few elections. And you go, trust me. And they go, if everything they say is wrong, can you want my vote? You want my dollars and my contributions and my attention and my support. The one thing I ask of you is stop considering me like cattle numbers,
Right.
and treat me like a thinking person.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that's making this big fat ass Ned Flanders any bit appealing, is because you refuse to talk to me like an adult. And if you're going to say everything the super gorgeous black woman is saying is wrong, address one of them.
Yeah.
Address one of them. Stop calling her racist and anti-Semitic and hateful and purposely pulling apart the party, and acknowledge what this truly is. You are turning your nose at the people you need.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wonder why when Mama throws her arms out and she's like, I don't know, but I know, come on over and we'll have ourselves a podcast. They're like, well, I think she's a psyop too, but at least she talks to me like I'm an adult.
Here's Nikki.
Here's Nikki. My anaconda don't want none
And
because
that's the thing with the whole Nicki Cardi thing. Why did they decide to make this a thing? Other than I'm sure Nicki asked to be.
I think it's the system.
Yeah, it's gotta be, right?
I think Cardi is just the blind being liaison.
Yes.
Go back 8 years ago. She's like, she's on MTV and she's trying to graduate to a couple more channels on. How do I get onto that CNN thing?
Right.
Well, we got a dead guy propped up in the basement. He's not going to respond.
You ain't black.
He might tell you you're not black. He doesn't know what he's saying. He's actually going to try to solicit you to pet his hairs in a pool. Just ignore that. Just keep talking through it. And she's so dumb. I don't even think she could pick up on all this. She just keeps talking through it. Ask him the questions. The answers are far from coherent, make no sense. She puts on a smile and keeps on pushing. And before she knows it, she's literally touring with Kamala Harris. Like, do you remember that when we reported it on this show? She had no idea. She won. Oh, shit.
She pulled out her
the
phone.
teleprompter went out, and then she's like,
phone. I can't really find it.
I can't read it either. Shit. Like, so, it gets to the point where she didn't want to be there. It just, the goalpost kept getting moved before she knows that she's standing in the middle of Utah on a Kamala Harris stage, like, and the teleprompters are out.
Yeah.
And then Nicki Minaj, it was just, her card was pulled. Like, one, they've always been the yin and the yang of each other's career. That was already kind of intentionally propped
I
up.
don't even know why that was a thing. I'm sure
drama.
There's a thing there.
Because we know, I think 50 Cent hates Jay-Z. But I think a lot of these feuds are just fake. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think some of them are just...
50's hate is real, and I think that's why we kind of love him for it. Like,
yeah.
there's a genuine...
But Drake and Kendrick, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Ricky would have a feeling on that.
Ricky?
Drake was in his top 3.
I think it's all a show, Ricky.
They hate each other. Come on. You don't come. How can you call me a pedophile and it be a #1 song in the world and I like you?
What Drake didn't realize
your
is
mom, your
that's kind of
kids,
the
and
mainstay of this
every
country.
Huh?
What Drake didn't realize is Kendrick doing that. It's a pretty common thing in this country. We'll call you that to your face and have no
bro.
repercussion.
He ain't
That's so bad.
Maybe
Will.
that's what
You
he said y'all do
terrible.
over there in the border, but he Canadian. But still, I'm Jamaican. That ain't flying. That ain't okay. And then hold on. And then for the picture of the song, it's my house with the dots that shows the neighbors. You're not supposed to, bro. It's up from here. Like, what do you mean?
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
That come on now, you can't like that. And then
I think it's all showing.
Drake said, you beat your wife and all this. Come on, man. Come on now. Come on,
I think they got as close to the line without crossing it. But you know what? I'll say they got it close enough to the line that I'd believe it.
I need one of them to make a Netflix
They're
documentary so I know the hate's real.
Fair.
Alex, look at me. They're making people think you're a PDF? What's more serious than that?
But I think you're right. But I don't think there was any actual weight behind that claim. Like, I think he made the claim because we all think it.
Company, his own record label. He was hurt.
All right. You know what? They hate each other. I'll leave it because you know what? I'll say that even if it was a Shakespearean play, it got as far into that as you could get. Like it crossed the lines. So I'll admit, like Occam's razor would say it's way more logically real than anything else. But that circling back then to the real point here, which is a lot of the relationships are phony. Like I was shocked that Taylor Swift and Kendrick or whatever Travis Kelce were actually going to get married, because I thought for sure this was just a 1 to 3 year tabloid stint that would eventually dry up. And it's real. But Selena Gomez and The Weeknd were never a real relationship. Yeah. So some of it is tabloid BS. Some of it's real. That's what makes for a fun conversation. Because
so is Selena and Benny real?
I would say
they be cute, bro. Come on, no pity, bro. They be cute, bro. They be doing little cute shit, dog. They ain't gonna put you do no.
Hey, you don't know what Benny knows, or who he knows, or what islands he's taking her to, or
a lot of people.
You never know. Right. He was chosen by God, and that beautiful Latina was not. It's just kind of how God. I can't believe God's like.
Can I get that? Come on,
God's like,
man.
I got favorites.
Can you press that? Come on,
3,000
man.
I picked the favorite. And you weren't it.
Press that "Come On, Man" for me by JB. I need.
Oh,
that.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You ain't black.
That one's for you.
As they say, right, I'm
Ricky,
Jamaican.
Give me your rapping thoughts on this new evolution of American politics.
BS. It's all the show. It's all BS. I don't know why they would have these two trying to be the head of their picture, but I ain't following behind neither. I'm just gonna be my own independent mind. I don't know. Y'all should do
Cheers to that. Wilbur, rapping thoughts.
I just think in the same calendar year that your husband was killed, you have Nicki Minaj now on your stage,
taking the torch for your party.
And your husband didn't leave a disease almost until the
and you know what? I really did cheat this angle of the dialogue because we kind of ran short on time of getting all the clips together. There is another clip, ironically, of Charlie Kirk under the tent doing a debate, and he brings up Cardi B. He's like, these aren't good reflections of a solid home. These shouldn't be idols for our daughter. People like
Facts.
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are raising your children into degeneracy, and we should resist it. And you sit back and it's like, oh, well, little did you know your Winnie the Pooh wife is going to bring in Nicki to take the torch for your program.
Yeah, what a country.
What was I love, honey? Bring in Winnie the Pooh. All right.
Clip it.
Clip it. No, please don't clip
But when can we just let celebrity just be we need to stop having these parasocial relationship with celebrities. If you fall in love with them for their art, let it be the art. Stop caring about their personal life and what they all got going on, bro. Let the art be the art. Unless they do some horrendous shit, you let them go. Just let the art be the art, and just don't. People just be so focused on. I don't get it. Cut me off, bro. I don't get it. This is crazy.
It is. It's crazy. So closing it out here. When you step back and look at what this really is, it's not about Cardi B or Nicki Minaj at all. They're just the costumes. The problem is that politics has been hollowed out so completely that fame now substitutes for thought and clout replaces competence. We didn't elevate celebrities into politics because they're wise. We did it because they're loud, familiar, and emotionally effective. They shortcut thinking. They give people permission to feel good, feel right without having to understand why. That's not empowerment. That's manipulation with a catchy hook. A functioning society debates ideas. A decaying one stages feuds. One political identity turns into Team Cardi versus Team Nicki. It means the system no longer believes the public is capable of engaging with substance. Again, mirroring the boxing issue. So instead of persuading citizens, it entertains them. Instead of leading, it performs. And instead of solving problems, it sells personalities. This is how serious nations rot. Not all at once, not in a dramatic collapse, but in the slow replacement of responsibility with spectacle, when influence is handed to whoever commands attention and the loudest voices win, not the most truthful ones. You don't get better leadership out of this. You get deeper division. You get a population trained to cheer, not to think. And the most dangerous part, once politics becomes entertainment, the people stop demanding results because they're too busy picking sides in a show that was never designed to serve them in the first place. That's not democracy evolving. That's democracy being replaced. And if we don't start expecting more than celebrity endorsements and viral moments, then this isn't rock bottom. It's just the new normal. All right, getting to our wrapping up piece here. We want to get to down the wiki hole so we can end on a fun note. I know the episode's going a little late here, but I still think we need to have some fun closing it out. As we wrap up how evil and shitty our government is and how we just can't trust them, especially even this administration that I thought we could, I really do want to say I think the Epstein redactions are going far.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
God, that's good.
That's
so good.
So good.
I think we need to truly highlight the shortcomings. So I couldn't depart the dialogue without at least highlighting that. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, the game Down the Wiki Hole is played like this. We start at a wiki page, and it's the goal of the team here to try to pick the person in question, the mystery person. Are they male? Are they female? Are they dead or alive? All we know is that this is a public figure that people would recognize and should be able to exclaim. So we start from that person, and I click 5 obscure wiki pages away. Each round, we start from there. Each round, we're going to get one slide closer to the actual person. And each round, the members playing with each other can either ask a yes or no question or take a guess. And you're trying to narrow down the inquiry to try to figure out who the mystery wiki person is. So let's go down the wiki hole and take a guess at who might be our mystery person today. The order is going to be Will, Doug, Ricky, and then the kid, if he wants to try a couple stabs, maybe assist you.
Definitely joining in because we need the extra help.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to want it. You're going to need it. And once he gets a vibe for you guys playing it, it'll be easy and exciting for him
against the house. All right.
Us again, I'm the
against
house.
the house.
My mom says I'm the size of the house. I'm working on it. You don't need to exclaim it.
Wins, man.
That's right. That is true. The house does always win. So you stacked it against yourself. All right. We're starting at the gulag. All right. We're starting at the wiki page, the gulag, and we're going to work 4 slides closer to the mystery person. Male, female, dead or alive. Who knows? Go ahead. Will, ask your first question or take a guess.
Are they male?
Yes.
It's male.
It's a male. All right. Going to Doug.
Alive.
Yes or no question or a guess.
Yeah, I am trying to take notes this time like Ricky, but the pen I have was not working with me.
That's okay. We could ask Ricky for the notes.
Is this person Russian heritage or Russian
No.
nationality? No. Okay.
You got to remember, he's the only one on your team on Mars. You and Ricky are on your hounds on the trail. He's not.
Ricky, ask if they're alive, please. Please, just like let's get this one out of the way.
We can't hear you, Ricky.
Are they alive?
No.
Okay, great. It's great. Wanted that a question ago, but we got it now.
All right. The kid coming to you. You can either ask a yes or no question or take a guess at the person.
Is the person a political figure?
Yes. Perfect. That's a damn good question. Kid's never played this before. Gets it a million times more than Doug. Back at the top.
Man, that was a good question.
Let's go to our
Russian.
Let's go to our next slide here.
It helps.
The next move is the Soviet Union. We're getting closer and closer to the person here.
Brev, come on.
Yes
now.
or no
Gulag
question?
Is the
Are they
Soviet
black?
Union.
No.
Okay, he had to think about it. He pondered. He didn't immediately just say yes or no. He thought about it.
Could be. Could be. All right. Doug. Yes or no question or take a guess?
Did this person die during the Cold War era? Meaning like like 1995?
Is the question before 1995 or is it the Cold War era?
Did they die pre?
Doug, ask him. Let me.
All right, Will, help me out here.
Ask him if they died pre-fall of the Soviet Union.
Well, that's kind of what I thought.
I know, but like,
well, do you want to draw a line or do you want to give me a section of years? Because an era is a
pre-Soviet Union.
Dumb motherfucker. The answer is no. Okay. So there you go.
So
you
they've
gave
seen-
yourself more information than if it was an era.
Right.
Catching on. All right. Going back to
That was a
Ricky.
good question. Good question, Doug.
Yes. Ricky, do you want to ask a yes or no question or take a guess?
Did this person migrate to the U.S. and became famous?
On its surface, I would say no. And I say that because I'm not going to research it. Your impression would also be no.
So essentially, with Ricky's question, we're essentially saying he
We're a
was
couple
not
bumberberries,
famous in the U.S. Is that how we're
No, he's asking, did they migrate to the U.S.?
Like,
and become?
but I'm
famous
asking, are they
instead?
like, did they migrate to be well known in the U.S.?
They didn't
Like, are they-
migrate to the U.S.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. I just wanted
but they
to
would be
know.
well known in the U.S.
Well, that's two different questions. So the question, are they migrating in the U.S. or are they famous in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Just ask if they migrated to the U.S.
Well, the answer is no. The kid, yes or no question or a guess?
Was this person above the age of 40 when they died?
No.
That young.
All right, we're going to go to the third slide here, moving in closer and closer as we go. All right, your next clue, John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy. We have one more slide between this and our person. So, Will, do you want to go with a yes or no question or a guess?
Does anybody have a question on mind that they are considering? Or multiple
Perhaps,
questions,
right
meaning they have
now.
a question that
Oh,
The first thing that came to my mind
Will,
was
I gotta say this. No, you know what? Never mind. No.
Do you got a question? Yes or no?
first
or
thing that came to
a
my
guess?
mind, Will, was the monkey they set in space. I don't know why. Soviet Union, JFK, space race. I don't know. Like they sent the monkey to space. I don't know. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
So this individual's dead, died after 91. That's when the Soviet Union fell. Lived under 40, lived a short life. If I were to assume, probably died under mysterious circumstances. Doug, did you ask if they were their nationality? That was your first question. right?
Yeah, they're not Russian.
They're not
is
Russian.
what Alex said.
So they are more than likely involved, not even involved, but during the time of the Soviet Union, maybe Cuban Missile Crisis. So they could have died in the early 90s, shortly after.
Post-Soviet.
But no, we didn't confirm if they were Soviet or not, did we?
No, you did not.
That's what I thought.
Well, he said died during the Cold War, and Alex said no.
No, but it was in 91. But if Kennedy was around in 63, maybe he's probably not directly associated with Kennedy. Maybe.
No, the question was, did he die before 91? The answer was no.
Right. So he's after 91.
Mm-hmm.
Will, ask
I'm
if
going to
he's
go
Cuban.
with Brad Richardson's. Was this individual involved with the CIA?
You know, the magic of the CIA is we would never know. So the surface answer is no.
Alrighty.
The answer we know is no.
Okay. So on this individual's Wikipedia page, it would not mention
100%.
Bayer. Okay.
100%.
Okay.
They pay extra dollars, so it's not.
Okay.
Douglas, yes or no question or a guess? Nick, the kid might be onto something.
Hey, kid. Okay, the kid is asking me to ask, was he killed by Americans?
Again, he's pondering this.
How do I have to answer this? My heart or what the world says?
You tell us.
Whatever's, I guess.
The world says he was killed by an American. And the kid is actually extra smart because I actually revealed another thing, that he was killed.
Yes. No, I got
and that he didn't die. Well, you guessed that.
No,
you didn't ask it.
After you said that, I was like, all right.
Bro,
Ricky, you got a
I'm just
question
talking to
or a guess?
No, not to you, to my dogs. Bro, was this the dog that took out JFK, bro?
Say it again. I don't think
know.
they heard you. Your team is not hearing you.
What? It can't be so obvious it would be the guy that took out JFK. That's too obvious, right? I'm asking y'all.
Well, nobody is even listening to you, let alone responding.
No, I am.
I'm listening.
Then answer his question.
Will's on his phone. I was waiting for you, our judge, to answer.
I'm
No,
not
that's
playing,
not
Doug.
to Alex. That's not to Alex. That's to you guys.
What was the?
Before I ask my question,
I know, dude. They're not listening to you.
it's not Hosborn or whatever the guy
No,
name
it's
is.
not Oswald. I was thinking that too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because we know they
Was
died
this person
first.
involved? Never mind. No, that's not a good one.
Pick something.
Help me out.
You got to start narrowing it in somehow.
Mhm. Help me out, fellas.
I'm trying.
I don't have much to help here.
All right.
Tough.
It really isn't. You could ask anything. Did he play basketball? The answer is no, but at least you know to mark that off.
Alex.
Did they wear pants?
Dude, you're telling
Yes.
us to narrow it down, and you're asking, did he play basketball?
Yeah,
Basketball.
Like, sorry,
Come
it's not
on, my
even-
dog.
Well,
You're
the
narrowing
answer.
it down. Questions are the most. Did he eat 3 meals a day?
Hey, Ricky, ask if he had a beard, man. That at least will.
Well, I'm trying to
go
think of
down.
questions that would lead to a next wiki.
Well, yeah, I
right?
wouldn't
Yeah,
give
lead
you
us to
an
the next-
example question that
I
you could use.
understand, but you're saying you could ask anything.
All
and
right,
it's
I'll
like-
make sure when we close the game to rattle off 4 right off the bat. That would just be a commonsensical.
Yeah, okay,
you should ask
Captain
this.
Hindsight.
Was this
All right.
person involved? Okay. Hold on. Let me go down my list. Not political,
Anything.
not Russian, not a political figure.
Ask him
Not
if he was
Russian,
involved with
neither.
American politics.
He was political.
Yeah, was he
yes.
involved
Be creative
with
here.
any?
Ask-
Was he involved in American politics?
Yes.
I already asked, was he?
I think I know
political,
who
and
this
the
is.
answer was
Right,
yes.
but that could be a wide variety of
Right,
countries and
especially
politics.
because Doug's playing in Russia with his consideration. So, yeah, it's a good question to ask. I agree. The kid.
I think. Hold on, kid. I think
Was this
it's
person
hold-
involved in terrorist activity?
No.
espionage would.
On its surface, no.
Is this? Do y'all
Oh,
think?
well, that-
Oh, it's
go
the
next
next slide.
page.
Next slide.
All right, let's go to the next slide to enhance your considerations. We've got another series of guessing before we're there. All right, we're one slide away. Oh, my God.
One of the one that's really getting me is knowing he's under 40. That one's getting me the hardest.
Well, looking here. Civil Rights Act of
Is it
1964.
MLK or yes, exactly.
All right, so we're gonna go to Will. You want a yes or no question or a guess?
Was he a leader of the Civil Rights Act?
No.
Okay.
Doug, a yes or no question or a guess?
This person isn't white, by the way. Isn't that a question I asked?
Yeah.
You
black,
asked if they
no.
were black,
So he's
and I said
white.
no.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they're white.
so the person is white.
Well, Doug, Will
Well,
wanted to
no,
pretend
not
they were
necessarily-
brown.
no, not necessarily black, but black,
No, I said no.
Well, think of it this
They're not
way, It
black.
could also be Gandhi.
They could be white. They could be mocha.
Could be Gandhi.
But all I know is they're definitely not black.
It could be, well, Malcolm X was black, so that one's out. Straight bombs.
anyone got
LBJ.
anything for-
I love that.
It could be Gandhi.
You know what? Because you guys are
was
so
this
lost,
person,
I'll say
civil-
they are white.
It was white. Okay.
I want to assist you in your last round. Hone it in. They're white. That means I'm allowed to say in the future Cash Patel's black.
All right,
Let's be very
the
clear.
Kid gave me this answer, and
It's-
I have to go. Our question, I have to go with it. Is this person Charlie Kirk?
Is this person Charlie Kirk? I had to. I couldn't resist.
I guess the second question we could have done it. Were they born after the fall of the Soviet Union?
The kid plays one round and he wins.
This kid is amazing. He won it.
Nice. Good shit,
I do
kid.
love how first question out of Doug's mouth. Doug, I love you to death. You hone in on the first wiki so hard.
Right. It's like,
you-
dude, the
you
goal
get
is
the
to get as
first-
far off the beaten path as possible. And Doug's like, but wait, while we're
Was
over
this
here off
person
the beaten
Russian?
path.
Was this
My
person
first-
Russian? I highly doubt he picked the Russian and started with the Soviet Union.
Thank you.
Like, I was like,
You think this is your first time?
Yeah, it's immediately.
I love that. Hey, cheers to Brad Richardson was
kid.
really assisting the game here. And if it wasn't for the kid, I don't think we'd ever get here.
Yeah, the
Charlie,
Charlie or
the under 40 is what got me.
Richardson was saying
He's not stopping, he's
LBJ,
drunk.
man. You know, like that was far off.
Thank you for yelling over Will for that.
Guys, I thought you did well. I thought we
Um,
did well. Kid, I thought you were the MVP of this round.
he won.
MVP.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what's funny. I put this together after a couple weeks ago when we did Wiz Khalifa, and I thought, oh, this will be good when it finally, like, whenever the wheel presents it and we bring it all together. But then we got the kid coming in today. I wanted to do the full ringer, and I'm thinking to myself, do I change it? Like, we're talking about TPUSA. I thought for sure going from TPUSA, I even said the dude's name, to then into here, that'd be too top of mind. And I'm so glad I didn't change a
The
thing.
We
two
we
things-
expect too much of you, Alex. Like that's what it is. We expect you to be really like switching it up on us that we couldn't even see what was right in front.
Yeah,
of
that
us.
was it.
Well, the two
Yeah.
things that really
Sneaky
got
man.
me was
right in front of us.
all the Soviet Union. I couldn't get out of then my wiki.
Yeah.
Being like, all right, they were born pre-Soviet Union, died shortly after. So I was thinking like the Gulf War and stuff in between like that period of time. And then when you said civil rights, and then two under 40, it was just getting me the whole time.
I love Brad Richardson. I was going the wrong direction. Yeah, LeBron James and the
Lee
CIA
Harvey
are.
Oswald. I was like, guys, it's not Lee Harvey Oswald just because JFK. showed
I was
up.
thinking MLK. Me and Will was on the same wavelength.
yeah.
MLK,
I
you know what I
agree
mean?
with
But, like,
Willis. I thought
You
I
had
thought
us
it
this
was
time,
beating
bro.
MLK too.
Alex, you
Well,
had
that-
us.
yeah.
Thank God for the kid, bro.
Thank God for the kid.
The kid.
When does the kid get a name?
Hey, anytime.
Yo, so with that being said, Ricky, tell the folks where they can find you. Let's land this plane.
Hey, anywhere, everywhere, other than your mama's underwear. We outside, bro. It's right
You know-
there in front of y'all.
Yeah, we outside. You could find us in your mama's underwear too. You never know. Ooh. All right, guys. We appreciate you joining us. If we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you can do to support this show is hit that like button. Be sure to hit the notification bell and the subscribe button so you don't miss our future episodes, because we're here every Tuesday live at 7 p.m. We also have a flurry of other shows that are going to be coming at you at different days with the different bowl games, and Doug's going to a football game and everything else. So with our football show, the Sunday review, if you notice this week, we went live Friday. I think we're probably going to do the same thing this week. And we're also going to have our reactions channel, the reaction show, which is always every Sunday, and the podcast and everything else. With all these different shows, you can find it in one central place, which is at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So be sure to head on over there. If you like this show and this episode, that means someone else you know will too. So the best thing you could do to support us is be sure to share that link. So be sure to share and like. But otherwise, guys, we'll catch you next week.